Hello and welcome to another episode of Next Week in Gaming. Next week is our August Week 3 episode, and as usual we'll be bringing you game reviews, game releases, early access releases, deals and interviews and that kind of stuff. So first up we have a bunch of sales all taking place on Bundle Stars at the moment. They've just started their Steam Pack sale. This means that they're going to have a couple of new Steam Packs up for sale every couple of days, and this is going to go on for a few weeks as well. Firstly, we have a couple of 2-pack bundles. So you've got a couple of the Lego games, including the new Jurassic Park ones, well, Jurassic World rather, and you've also got Spin Tires. They also have a 3-pack bundle for From the Depths, which is the sort of Minecraft-y type game where you build submarines, boats, aircraft, tanks, things like that, and make large war across maps with all of those creations. And they also have a bunch of other really great deals, including Mountain Blade bundles, which includes Mountain Blade and a bunch of their expansion kits, and also the entire Europa Universalis collection, 4 that is, and that's being reduced down from about £40 to £10. So there's a ton of deals on that page. If you go to the link in the article, you'll find dozens and dozens of games, some not really worth looking at, but there are a huge amount of various games for anyone that's looking for a sale, really. So first up on the release for next week is a game I've been waiting all year for, most of last year since it was announced in the first place, and that is the spiritual successor to the Neverhood games, and this one's called Armikrog. This is by Pencil Test Studios, and it's being published by Versus Evil next week on the Tuesday the 18th of August, I believe. And this will put you in the role of Tommy Naught, the main guy that looks a little bit like Earthworm Jim, and his weird little blind dog called Beak Beak. You'll be dumped in the Armikrog Fortress, solving puzzles. This is a point-and-click adventure at heart. I'm not a fan of point-and-click adventures, but I will disregard that for the sake of just playing this glorious game. And you'll be just solving puzzles all over the place, and I assume trying to get off this gigantic weird wasteland where there are weird and wonderful creatures of all manner of creation. So that comes out next week, and I am praying I get a review key for it. Also dropping on Tuesday the 18th of August is the PSP remake for PC version of Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. This is of course being published by Square Enix, and it's business as usual. Instead of going up from the number 15, we're going back to 0. This of course is the same game essentially. You're just going to have higher resolution options, more blood apparently, a scalable motion blur option, and I'm not 100% sure on this motion blur thing because I always turn it off, and bizarrely a weird feature called a customizable dynamic screenshot mode. So if you're obsessed with taking screenshots and have nothing better to do like play the damn game, well there's that for you as well. And of course this one is going to be not exactly a cheap game. It's coming out at around £20, so whether or not the extra resolution and screenshot mode is worth it to you, you decide. Again, on Tuesday the 18th of August, we have another game coming out which is like a modern futuristic reimagining of the Robin Hood legend. This is called Volume, and it's being developed by BitHell Games. This will have you put in the role of Loxley himself, and instead of going around shooting and killing things, you'll be dodging and evading everything because it's a roguelike stealth game. All you'll have is the extremely strange but quite pretty levels to traverse around and try and avoid detection, and a couple of gadgets at your disposal. There will be a full campaign mode, and there's also some toolkits available for players to create their own maps, although the main campaign mode involves you going through 100 different levels which could potentially be user created if you wish, and just to complete the general game like that. It's a very weird art style, I have to say, and it sort of reminds me in a strange sort of way of Syndicate and Vectorman in a weird sort of way. But either way, that game is coming out next week, and it could be an interesting one to watch. So this next title kind of reminded me of Metroid for the original Game Boy, and this is a game being developed by Anton Kudin called Megasphere. This is a roguelike game, so it's an action platformer, quite physicsy too, and you'll be running around as a special arms unit, and your general purpose is to go around and destroy lots and lots of things. It is roguelike, so every playthrough will be randomly generated. The world is enormous and it will be all completely fresh every time you die. You'll have extremely large guns, which can also be upgraded throughout the levels, and a bunch of absolutely crazy enemies. It's very, very good looking for what is essentially just an 8-bit stylized game. But it actually looks pretty great. It's very fast paced. There's a hell of a lot of stuff going on all over the place. The weapons and enemy variation is quite brilliant, and overall it's looking like a pretty amazing game that I would have loved to have played on my old Game Boy. And finally, next week is our review title, which will be dropped on Thursday the 20th of August, day after my birthday, and that is Warhammer 40k Regicide. This is being brought to us by Hammerfall Publishing, and it's the game that looks kind of like chess, except I booted it up very quickly to take a look at it, and it is nothing like chess. You just kind of play on a chessboard looking thing. Everything is completely different. You can sort of see mild similarities, but don't stop making out that it's chess, because it's not. I don't usually review early access titles, but this one is in version 1.5, and at the moment they're just polishing up and adding little extras. And I feel that because Games Workshop are literally just pawning out their IP to everyone that will possibly take it from them, somebody needs to look and see if there's anything coming out that is good out of all of that stuff. So we'll be dropping that next week, and in case you haven't noticed, our videos inside the reviews will also feature some voiceover from me and some video if you want to look at my face anymore. So look out for that. That will be coming to all reviews from now on. So the usual gameplay videos, which are just bland and boring, that were completely useless, are now being replaced with something which I hope is slightly more useful. So yeah, take a look at our review next week, and it looks like the chess version of Warhammer is actually kind of good. So that's it from us at NextPowerUp. Join us next week on Thursday for our usual review, and of course next Saturday for our next Week in Gaming. As usual, drop your comments in the section below about what you guys have been playing. There's been so many deals going on the last few weeks. You must have bought something and at least played something else different. Anyway, that's it. We'll leave you with that. Thanks for watching.